one to rely on. Me, I guess I was a shoulder to cry on. Face on a lover with a fire in his heart. A man undercover, but you tore your feet apart. Ooh, now I found a new love, you never fool me again.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, but the very next day, you gave it away. This year, to save you from tears, I'll give it to someone special.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, but the very next day, you gave it away. This year, to save me from tears, I'll give it to someone special.
Always something in my Going with that. Hello, catastrophically bored human beings. If you are here with me, you must be catastrophically bored. You have to be. You have to be catastrophically bored if you're here with me on Christmas Eve, but that's okay. I appreciate you being here. My name is Tyler. Welcome to the Amsterdam Show. And if you're wondering, why the hell is this guy here on Christmas Eve? I don't have a lot to do on Christmas Eve. I don't actually have a lot to do on Christmas at all. So, here I am with you guys. We're hanging out. We're going to go do a deep dive through some Softube goodness. We're going to introduce one of their new products, a few of their new products, actually. I'm going to use a couple of guitars today. I'm going to start things off with some rock and end things off with some heavy. And my boy Gilbert back there on the couch. It's like spending. I just ended a stream of Andy Wood. Nice. Andy Wood is a fucking beast. Another guy that I know factually that Andy Wood has had an offer made to him for a plugin suite. I know that. 100% he has had that offer made to him because I made that offer. And it probably went down a rabbit hole somewhere, though, as I just used his regular email, and sometimes things hit filters. But that's a guy that I would love to see with a plugin. Got to be a good. There's going to be a country guitar player is going to be this year. There will be a well-known country guitar player that's going to end up with a suite this year. I don't know that. I just feel that in my heart. All right, so we're hanging out today with a new plugin, sort of. This is called Amplifiers, and I'm going to nuke the window here just so we can give this guy some space. We are going to probably going to add a pedal at some sort, at some point. So we're going to see what's going on. This is Amplifiers, and if you've never heard of Amplifiers from Softube before, it's kind of part of their amp room suite. However, one of the complaints I guess they have had about amp room, including from myself, is the resources needed to use amp room smoothly can be a bit of a pig. So what they did here is that, oh man, come on. You know what? He's feeling better. We're just going to let it happen. He was feeling kind of crummy yesterday. Didn't get to do his bally meowy thing. So, guys, just deal with it. He's happy. It's Christmas Eve. My cats are not in heat. He is a fixed boy of 11 years old, and he just loves to party with a ball. And he's deaf. So the louder, the better for him. So what this plugin is this is designed to be kind of a yeah, instead of Corbin Dallas. If amp room is this, then amplifiers is it's a smaller version with less resources required, and it is what it is. And we're gonna go back to the regular playlist because for one Christmas, this one Christmas, I'm just sort of dabbling. I'm doing something a bit different. I'm just not doing any of the usual lead up. I'm going to do Christmas and smile and do the thing with the family. But I didn't do the thing where I'm getting all excited watching all the movies this year. I just kind of, I watched other stuff. I didn't decorate at all for Christmas. It's just too much. There's just too much going on. So it was stressing me out. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to do it just for Christmas Day, Boxing Day. you know, just do that and then have my time off to just do other things. You know what I mean? Instead of just pummeling Christmas. I'm just going to. But nonetheless, Merry Christmas to each and every one of you and your families. And if you are like myself and you're just by yourself this Christmas, or maybe you are every Christmas, doesn't really matter. We're hanging out together. So this is amplifiers. Now I'm going to go right off the hop and tell you what it has and what I think it should have. Now what this is it gives you the opportunity to use any amp that you've purchased through Softube. Okay, so it could be the new Blazeworks. We're going to get into those. It could be the new Blazeworks. It could be anything like the Angle Savages. It could be anything from Vintage Amp Room. It's all the Marshalls are in here. The bass amps are in here. Vildsynth is in here. And by the way, this guy right here, you can do bass stuff with this as well. This is one of probably the most underrated, unheard. I haven't seen a lot of demos. I haven't seen, in fact, any demos using this. Maybe one or two. But this is the Supernova, and this is one of the best bass amp. One of the best bass amp sims I've ever freaking heard in my whole life. This thing is awesome, but we're not using that today. Now you can use anything. Now I'm not sure which one's new here, the Pacific Dual or the Pacific Dual. Oh, they're both the same. There's the black face and a silver face. I'm not sure which one's the new one. There's a brand new one. So I think what they're doing is they're going back and they're redoing some of the old stuff in with some more, you know, of their regular, with their newer quality, etc. Okay. So this is their high watt, if I'm not mistaken. And this is, of course, this is my dad Telecaster. Just going to get the levels up here. So we're going to get started with some, cleans to edge of breakups, and we'll go from there. Now, here's the other thing. I'm going to be clicking on this all day, just so you know, when I'm going to switch it. But down here, it shows you you can use any amp that you've purchased through any of their packs. Also, you can use any of their cabinets as well. Now, here's my only issues with this. I think there should be a pedal section. I know this is meant to be low profile, low resources, but I think with the amount of pedals they have, I think there should be a pedal panel, and it should have just one, maybe two at most. Okay, just one pedal, maybe two at absolute most, because there are a lot of drive pedals and a lot of fun pedals that can be used. If you want, maybe three pedals. Okay, just so you can fill a panel. Whichever, it doesn't matter. It's not going to add a significant amount of resources to add a pedal panel. And then the other thing I think that should be allowed is a secondary mic, not a second cabinet, because I really like the way this is laid out. We don't all have to have two cabinets at one time. Okay, so this is one cabinet, but there should be two mics available. And as far as I'm seeing, there's no way to add a second mic. The other thing I think they would be good to add is the names of the microphones. They don't do that here. And for some people, they just don't know what that is. And if you go, you can hack it by going into Amp Room and kind of looking at what's what. But if you don't know what certain mics look like, I mean, I know this is a 57. I know that's an SM7B. Pretty sure that's a 421. And I think that's a 121 there. And again, I don't know whether this maybe a 414. I don't know. The point is, have some names on the mics, even when you roll over it. They usually have this nice little bar on the bottom of all their plugins that when you roll over something, it tells you exactly what it is or what it does. So, or like even if you roll over a knob, it tells you, allows the user to increase or decrease the treble in the EQ, blah, blah, blah. But this would be nice just to tell me what these are and allow a secondary mic to be added. As far as I can see, there's no way to do that. So that would be cool. If you're curious how to do the angle, it's just you press it against, as far as it can go against the cabinet. That's how you're going to do that. All right, so we're going to kind of make it look something like this. That's nice, eh? 7 people in the house, and it's just me, Ton, and Pedro. Come on, folks, fire me up here. Say hi. We're not going to bite you today. We're just doing some tone chasing and talking about this this fun new plugin from Softube. It comes along with your purchase of Amp Room. You can use anything, any amp, bass, or guitar. There are several bass amps. The Eden. This is another. They have some bass amps over there that are truthfully underrated. This is another one right here. The Eden WT, was it 800? Yeah. This is phenomenal. Super fun to use. And we're going to be trying these guys today as well. These are the Blaze Works. And I thought they kind of rolled these out, and we'll get to these, but I kind of sort of thought these would be based on something real with the way they, laid it out, Blaze Works. And I thought it was actually based on it's going to be a copy of a copy, like a Bugera or a Crab or something along those lines. I thought it was maybe one of those new brands that just kind of popped up. And but we're going to start with the custom here. That sounds pretty snotty, eh? If you have to really know, you have to know high. I'm going to be doing this all day, folks. Damn it. You have to know what high watt sounds like. And it's a high watt amp and a high watt cab together make this very honking sound. That's the only, I've always called it the high watt honk. That's a bit too much. Now, they've got a little drive thing here. I don't know what it actually does, though. That's got to be a pedal of some sort there. I don't know what pedal, though. That's a bit loud for you guys. Sorry, folks. I'll bring that down a bit. It's sounding pretty nice to my ears. I don't know about you. Well, it's telling me here. See, it's got that nice thing when I hover over these. Bass, middle, treble. So let me know. Why not do that with the mics? And just as I hover over it, tell me SM57. No, just say 57. Give me the numbers even over these bad boys. The average user would probably find that phenomenally helpful. And again, the second mic, I'm really finding myself missing the 421 option here because it completes me. Maximo Fernando, the best name in sports right there. How's it going, dude? Scott in the house. You still trying to pretend you can actually play guitar? I've never pretended I could play guitar, brother. It's sounding mighty nice right out of the blocks, but I find myself needing a pedal. Obviously, this is an overdrive pedal of some sort or a distortion pedal. That's a nice sounding high watt, and it sounds better than it was before. So clearly they're doing exactly what we said they should do, and what they probably had planned all along is going back and making sure all of their older models from the vintage amp room, the metal amp room, and some of the other stuff, that they're redoing those and they're giving them new life at the same time, which is really terrific. This sounds way better. Wait, Scott came in, and does that when you challenge me that way, does that mean I have to be all like? Yeah. Just kidding, brother. If you're not familiar with Scott's channel and you are familiar with mine, I'm going to call bullshit on that because I guarantee you know who Scott is. But if you haven't followed Chernobyl audio, yes, I'm going to make sure. Why do I remember it being Chernobyl Studio? Is it Chernobyl Audio or Chernobyl Studio now? Why do I remember it being Chernobyl Studio? All right. This has got to move back. Move back. Move back. All right. Cool. Is there like, check this tone out. Like we do tone watching once in a while. This was, if I'm not mistaken, a block letter PV 5150 with a governor out front. You can hear real 5150 rawness on this recording too, though, which is the sick thing about it. If you can't, like, sometimes like a boosted 5150 sound amazing. Yes, they do. But you know what's also sounds amazing? A nice raw 5150 with no boost up the middle. And that is a very, I can hear that high watt honk. It makes me happy. However, every time high watt comes up on this channel, I feel the need to note that like my first impression of high watt was not good because it was this guy that I have in my community. And he's got a high watt, and no matter what venue he's playing, no matter what size venue, no matter what size stage, no matter who he's playing with, no matter how many people in the room, no matter which band or what style he's currently playing, he basically just turns every knob up to fucking 11. And just all you can hear is this dude. You can't hear his band. You can't hear anything but this one guy in the band. And I know sound guys have had conversations with him in the past and being like, dude, you just got to chill the volume down. He doesn't do it. He just he'll turn it down and then just bump it up and up and up and up throughout the show, as guitar players tend to do from time to time, to the point where I do want to make a point though. If you're one of those guitar players, okay, this is some free advice. If you're one of those guitar players, every time you do this, the sound guy does this. Okay, just so you're fighting a losing battle, because every time you turn up, like it basically by the end of the show, this dude would be on stage with zero PA volume, and just his fader would be turned right off. So don't do that. That being said, over time, my opinion softened on the gear itself. Is it not one of like the I'm not called the ugly stepchild, but like we all think British. When we all think British brands, we all think immediately, almost every time, Marshall. Some might jump Marshall and go to Vox. Some might push those aside and say, no. I'm thinking about Laney and I'm thinking about Orange. And then some people might be like, no, I'm thinking about Ampeg. But rarely does Hiwatt come up in those those conversations of great British amps and legendary British amps. Hiwatt doesn't always come up because it's just wasn't used by quite as many as, maybe big names or what have you. What's your theory in the comments? If you have a theory at all, if you give it a flying fuck. This is giving me really nice, really great high watt vibes. You got to be careful with that middle, because if you turn the middle up, That middle gets a bit too much. There's a bit too much honk there, so you gotta just scoopage is always a good thing in those scenarios. Can you name the song I'm playing? Boy, I don't think you can. It's from a movie. It's not an actual song. I'll give you that. I'll give you that much. But it all was bullshit. It was a fucking joke. And when I think of you, Linda, I hope you fucking choke. Man, it's been a long time since I've seen that movie. But one thing I always remember about that part is the tone. You will go back and watch The Wedding Singer and then check out the tone that he uses during that portion when he plays that song. And that became one of my favorite guitar tones over the years. You just listen to it and man, it's just like, ooh, what a tone you've got going on in there. Great tone. I think it's just sounds like a Fender amp. I think he's using a Fender in it. All right. Hello, Chernobyl, Maximo Fernando. Hello, Ton. Hello, Rudy. How are you, sir? Wedding singer indeed. I have a friend that has a high watt. It's really, really high volume. Yes, it is. They're fucking loud, brother. I believe the Who. That's whenever I think high watt, I think the Who. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that Pete Townsend used, and you can hear that in the tone too, though. That just sounds wonderful. I feel like we've just been on too much metal lately. So now if we want to change the flavor of that amp just a little bit, we can start loading up maybe some Marshall cabinets instead. Example, maybe we want to use the Marshall AX. There's a couple of things that they also threw out, and this is kind of another weird thing that Softube did, and I don't know why they did this. It's really weird. They took just 2 of the many effects that they have available, and they made them available in pedal form, which is, check this out here. This is the rat pedal that they've put out. So if I want to throw that out in front, I can do that now. Yep, that sounds like a rat. All right. Got to turn the treble down on the amp here now. Boop. Woo! That's just so like aggressive. Let's go to low gain for a sec. Nope. It just seems like it switched it to like a 25 watt version of the amp or something. Anyways, the high watt equals good. Hold on, let's go back. Black metal tremolo on a trem picking on a high watt. That's the only way to be true cult. Yeah, I agree, man. Actually, that's way too. There's no way. High watt is not true cult. That's an amp head, bro. Amp heads aren't true cult. You're not true cult unless you're using a fucking combo amp with a Radio Shack mic. And for really good sound ISO purposes, what you're going to do to record that is you're actually going to put the mic at the inside a metal trash can at the very end on a small boom, okay? Now follow me here. We're talking like the desk size boom, like a kick boom. You're going to put that mic on that, and you're going to put it all the way at the very bottom. You're going to lay it on its side, and you're going to lay the mic all the way at the very end of the trash can. Now, then you're going to want a PV Rage 158. Now, what you're going to do to that little guy is you're going to put him out front at the very end of, at the very top of the garbage can / the end to closest to you. And you're going to turn all the knobs all the way up. And that is how you're getting the absolute truest cult guitar tone on the planet. The only way to do it better, I mean, if you have a way to do it better, I'll pay, I'll pay money. That, in my opinion, is the truest cult way to record true cult black metal. I tell you right now, somebody please go do that right now and just try that out. Also, when you record drums, the same scenario. The drum kit's going to get set up in a room, and that same mic is just going to be at that same spot in the trash can, but you're just going to put the trash can in the room with the drums. That is the absolute best way. No sound dampening anywhere. That's not allowed. Okay. Preferably if you can record that in a metal building or a tin shed of some sort, that'd be also ideal. You'll find all of these production techniques. I learned these all from Scott. Okay. You're going to find all these production techniques on his channel. Turn on audio. Wow. Kyle Hunter in the house. And you know what that means. You guys know what that means. At some point, you'll know what that means. I lost it again. There it is.
Say his name and he appears. I believe.
Let's hear it for our boy. Get called up to SmackDown.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
Yep.
'Cause they love him in London.
How cool is it?
And Tokyo, America, Scotland, and Canada, and Mexico.
We believe in Joe Hendry, and now Joe Hendry is on SmackDown. Now Joe Hendry's on SmackDown. I'm excited about that. I hope you guys are too. You guys are probably aren't, but I know Kyle and I sure as hell are. How sick is it? And they introduced him so well too. I know what you did. What you did say. I seen what you did with Nick Aldis's balls. We were dying on the couch. Just dying when that part came. Nice to see you, sir. Now we're going to go to the Kerry King. And we're just going to keep playing around with some of these amps in here. Okay. I am going to turn off that rat, though, because that rat is no longer welcome. You're not welcome. Why do I not remember it sounding like this? Okay. I don't remember it sounding like that at all. That's bizarre. Well, let's see what we can do with it here. Why does it seem like it has so much more gain than it used to? Suddenly, these don't sound as nearly as good. Okay, that's super weird. Let's try this again. I forgot this was on as well. Oh, okay, that was on. If you're wondering what makes the Kerry King amp different than any other average Marshall JCM 800, there's a couple different things. One, the power section is not traditional, which is traditionally with pretty much every Marshall amp is EL34 tube voicing, whereas with Kerry Kings it is a KT88, which is sort of like, like a KT88. You start talking about putting KT88s in Marshall amps, and I start listening real fast because I really like that tube type. It's traditionally the KT88s. Well, not traditionally, but most that we see it is usually in German-made amps. It's used in a lot of diesels, and I believe it's also used in a bunch of different angle amps. Don't see it too often in North America, but it's starting to become more and more popular in American-made amps as well. I personally love that tube voicing. Very interesting that this all of a sudden sounds so much different with this particular plugin. Let's see what else we can find for cabinets, because that was sounding pretty good. Interesting, and the volume kind of also cruised down a little bit. Once upon a time, these Marshalls were pretty much invincible. I feel like the plugin itself sounds different to me. I'm also going to load my own IR because I noticed that, hey, they don't mind. They also give you some IRs to do that, so they really just don't care. They give you some mixes here as well. Christian Cole. Pretty sweet. Man, Christian Cole has his name on everywhere. Just so many places. Okay, I'm just not wanting to listen to the rest of this tune, actually. That'll get me there. All right, let's see what we got here. It's not going to be a winner today, folks. And that's okay. No, I don't want that cab. There's a whole bunch of different cabs in here. You just kind of have to just choose what sounds best to you. You guys know anything about this cabinet? I don't know anything about mug cabinets. Sounds pretty nice, though. Now we're going to switch amps. So I'm going to try these Blaze. I'm going to try... Which one is the... These are both supposed to be 50 watts. Which one is the Marshall? This one's supposed to be the Marshall, I think. There's this and... Yeah, the other one's supposed to be the Marshall. The Marshall boosted Marshall clone. So we're going to try this one first. I don't know much about these. I didn't have much of a chance to get at them. They come in their own plugin, which is super strange. They come in for $30. You can get both amps, which is interesting, but you only get one cabinet. And I'm going to use it with the cabinet that it's supposed to get used with. Or at least the one they give you. Where is it? German Viper? German Viper. That first amp was so much louder. That's something that would annoy me internally. That would really irritate me. Okay, that's sounding good. That's sounding pretty good, actually. And by the way, this is just a made in Mexico Telecaster with a DiMarzio PAF Pro 36th anniversary. It's got this really nice black covering on it. Super great find, used found it for dirt cheap. This is a DiMarzio Humbucker from Hell, which, as I always say, is a very silly name for it because it makes it sound like it's supposed to be just a shredding, ripping neck pickup. But in actual reality here, it's more of a single coil looking, a humbucker looking single coil, if it sounds like anything. All right, I'm a little confused by the lack of, like, where did all the balls go? That high watt amp sounded like it was about to blow my front door in, and then these ones are just like, so again, another thing that sounds good, but I'm having to that's a lot of gain, which is cool. Let's hear the cleaner. Actually, this is a good time to also show you the other plugin that they released in its standalone form, which is the Softube Doom Church Reverb. So we're going to try that out while we're here. Holy Lord. Okay, so we need to chill that out, chill out, chill out, chill out. Wowzers. Whoa! Oh my God. Been a while since I played those songs. This reverb sounds super good. Super good. Love it. Actually, this is great. Just wonderful sound. It's not even the best clean tone either. That's just like a serviceable clean tone, and I'm just making it work here. Never mind, it's not. It's actually quite a nice clean tone here. Let's keep going with this. I look at the chat here once in a while. Oh my God. Hold on. I gotta go back. Sorry, guys. That's a Fender Twin in that movie? Nice. Yeah, I saw that email this morning, Rudy. I'll get that taken care of today. Probably right after the stream. I got nothing else going on. I did look at the Nux Academy. Sounds great. Dude, it sounds killer. It's when I was using it in my wife's rig, a truck that came by. Who's a guitar player and was like, dude. Nice. Our truth has to be protected at all costs. Absolutely. Turn off the right. Yeah. It has the KT8 and oh yeah, it also has that. I was getting to that, but I just kind of went on a squirrel brain rabbit hole. I went off. The Kerry King amp also has like a one knob kind of boost in it as well as a gate. Yes, you're correct. Johnny, send it to me, please. I'll send it, Ton, if you DM me your address. We're not talking about sharing anything. Is this stuff free? So I wouldn't want it. We can't be sharing anything. It sounds wonderful, folks. And as mentioned, this is not like going to be the greatest clean tone you'll ever hear either. So that's pretty nice. This Doom Church Reverb, super. I think I'm going to keep this in the chain. It's actually, no, it's iLock. So it's going to, I'll probably keep it in the chain for a bit because I do like it and I want to explore it more. All right, so this is the Blazeworks Arc Line 4. Let's get back to the mid channel. How do I do that? I see. Okay. This is going to be super high gain. I'm actually looking forward to trying it out a little bit further with. In the second half, by the way, I'm going to bring Gilbert back there into frame, and we're going to hang out with Gilbert a bit. Yeah, these amps, volume-wise, are just kind of all over the place. So they give you a bunch of different cabs. I'm going to start monkeying around with some Marshalls, I think, here now. Go back to that AX for a sec. Ooh, not the AX. Need something darker, or I'm going to have to bring that mic back anyway. Fuck, did it again. Yeah, there we go. The 414. I believe that's a 414. That sounds probably best here. So this is the Marshall, and like we're not on any amount of gain right now, so this is probably going to be a super sizzling amp. Yeah, I'm not even going to get into that too much further. I'm going to wait for the second half where I can get the, and I know the other one's super high gain as well. So let's just keep moving and get to some stuff that maybe we'll like a little bit better. I'd be interested to try the Blues Breaker here. This might not necessarily be everyone's jam, but I like this amp. Okay. We're going to try to give this some sizzle. It sounds good already, though. And we're way up for volume. So those Blazeworks are the only ones that seem to be down. The other ones sound pretty big and ballsy, but those Blazeworks, as soon as you get into those, they're like... Whew. So again, another thing on my list when I send the email over to Softube. Ooh. And if you don't know anything about this amp, this is the Blues Breaker, which correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was made for Eric Clapton. That's sounding nice. That's gonna have to. I'm gonna need a tune. Gonna have to tune. Hands are getting clammy as fuck too today. Merry Christmas to everyone. I know I've been a bit of a humbug and Scrooge this year, saying I'm not gonna do the Christmas. Well, I mean, I'm doing it. I'm still going to my family stuff. I just mean I'm not overdoing it. Plus, when you work in education, man, Christmas is crammed right in there as well. If you watch any TV, the advertisements have been everywhere since before Memorial and Remembrance Days. Super low shit right there. I'll never respect companies that go ahead and put advertising out there before Remembrance Day. We got to remember our veterans before we put up our damn Christmas trees. That sounds lovely. Ballsy. And then you can do the whatever you like for the cab. You can match it with some of the this little guy here. Nice. That's pretty fun little cabinet. And there's a Marshall cabinet pack that adds more cabinets and everything else. So that sounds delicious to me. I don't know about you guys. Amp Academy Stomp. You can load NAM profiles on it. But what's Johnny talking about sending over? For real? 'Tis the season to give. It's yours if you... Lucius. Yo, happy holidays. Excited for a Softube episode. Haven't explored that stuff much at all. Wonderful to see you, Lucius. Lucius, is this your first stream with us? I kind of feel like it is, as I think I remember your name. But let us know. Is this your first stream with us? Wow, this is the Blues Breaker. This is sounding really good. And Lucius, this is essentially, if you go back to I'll just kind of recap you. Amplifiers is we'll call it Amp Room Light. Call it Amp Shed, if you will. We'll call it Amp Shed from now on. I think there's a few things wrong with the plugin, and it's not necessarily wrong, but for starters, the Blazeworks amps have this huge drop in volume for some reason, which I think needs to be explored by the company for certain. There's no reason I should have to adjust the global output and everything by that much just for 2 amps. So also the ability to use did it again there. The ability to use 2 mics would be wonderful, and adding a pedal section with the ability to load up to, let's say, even 1, but 3 would probably fill out the space nicely. Something like that, or even a pop-up pedal window where you can choose from all their various drive stomps would be wonderful. It does not require post effects, just not required, because if you're working in a DAW, then you'll understand anyways that you're probably using your own delay, probably using your own reverb. And if you're curious and want a reverb, well, they put out a pretty darn good one, the one I was just using there. Also, if you're curious and you want to just kind of, actually, is it in? I don't think it's in here. Let me look first. I know Celestion Speaker Shaper is in Amp Room, but I just highly doubt it's in here. No, it's not. That's okay, though. If you haven't checked out Celestion Speaker Shaper, where's Eduardo when you need him? Because this is an Eddie. This is definitely an Eddie Deluxe. This guy right here is Celestion Speaker Shaper. And you go in here and you can choose your speaker by going to the top wheel or the top drop down. And you could, a number of speakers in here, including 3 different Celestion bass speakers, the Pulse 12, the BL10, and the BN10, as well as several speakers for guitar. You can load up to 2 different speakers and a couple of different mics. And you also have a lot of control over here of stuff you wouldn't ordinarily have control with your average loader. You can choose which cabinet the speakers are in. Open back, close back, which is nice to have. You've got your material. You've got a little bit of a boost, which is nice. You've got new and old, and you've got speaker distortion that if you'd like to add some speaker distortion, 16, 18 ohms, it lets you do, I think, up to 3 mics per side. Yes, 3 mics per side, it shows here. And then you have the large choice of mics, 57, 7B, 421, 112, 87, 414, 47, and 121. So yeah, lots and lots of fun things that you can use. Plus, there's the global controls over here. This thing is awesome. We're not going to get to it today, sadly, but because I just really need, I've had it forever and I just haven't put a lot of time into it. Going to see if I can pass my license on to Eduardo so he can become the expert on that plugin, as he is our impulse response ninja. So yeah, this has been fun so far. Good selection. What did Lucius say? Open World Audio. Okay, I got you. Nice to see you, Open World Audio. Nice to see you. That's dope, Johnny. You're doing that for him. That is really nice of you, Johnny Cecil. I'm still not completely clear on what's happening, but it's giving, you know what? We're all, and because Johnny Cecil did that, Johnny Cecil is going to be our winner. I didn't even let you guys know there was a prize being drawn today because, I don't know, just for fun. I'm going to be giving away a copy of the Blazeworks plugin that is on its own. We'll try that one in the second half. I showed you those amps, but for that act of kindness, Johnny Cecil is going to win a plugin. He's going to win the Blazeworks. I will need you to send me your iLock ID as well, or your iLock email. It's the rare time I have to ask for that, but there are only a couple companies left using the old iLock fake security system. iLock might as well be those like fake cameras you put up in like stores with no actual cables, like, you know, like just the is it a camera or not a camera? That's what it might as well be at this point, because people, the yars are just going right through it like Swiss, like Swiss cheese. No, he didn't. Johnny's right there. You haven't seen the Celestion plugin? It looks dope as hell. Does it have an IR export feature? I don't think so. You're welcome, Johnny. Thank you for doing that. That's very nice of you. That's super. You know what? It's the season of giving. We'll be doing. Admittedly, I am putting together some nice prizes for our 200th episode. But last year I gave away so many prizes, and it took me so many hours to just get the prizes together and to send them out, and going back and forth between developers that were on vacation and everything else, and people got irritated, and it was a time. So I basically I got out of that idea of doing like this crazy massive amount of prizes. Although I do still have a lot of prizes available this holiday season, we are going to be giving away a whole bunch of stuff on the in the 200th episode. I did it again and again and again and again and again and again and again. I don't like these quick windows as much. Like, they're kind of cool, but I keep wanting to touch this instead down here. I don't know why. That's sounding pretty good. Can't remember how to play that song. I can't remember how to play that song anymore. So we're still using, I'm going to use a different cab though, because we got this, still got this smaller cab going. Missing a little bit of the bite. This is the Jubilee. And of course, the Jubilee, known probably best for being used by the man with the top hat. No, not Abraham Lincoln, but fuck, man, why even say it? But Slash himself was a man that used the Jubilee for a long period of time, as far as I understand. You got her, Boss OD. You got it, sir. Yellow drive it is. Oh, that's not what I wanted for the yellow drive, though. Ah! Still don't think I've got the right cabinet. I almost did it again. Oops, I done it again. Nah. There are a lot of cabinets you can use in here. Tons of them. And one amp in here that you might not expect me to pull out in this stream is going to be this one right here. And you're like, well, geez, hold on a second there, champ. That's a bass amp. It is, in fact, a bass amp, but a bass amp that was born from a guitar amp. And so we're going to use the Murder One here. I think that's a bass cab. Is that a bass cab? Oh, I did it again. It's gonna be just terrible throughout the streaming. This thing rips for guitar probably better than bass, to be honest. Let's be honest here. Lemmy's bass tone wasn't exactly what you'd call a bass tone. It was sort of playing a Rickenbacker through guitar amps, and eventually the Murder one went. As far as I understood, it went. There was a bigger power section put in it, and he of course used different cabinets. He had a 412 and a 415 or something like that. In fact, I think it's in here. Is it in here? I'd have to go and look. I know that I'm assuming his cab section would be in here too. But I also don't see the Kerry King cab section. Whereas in Amp Room, by the way, you can use a lot more. Amp Room does a lot more, but there is a lot more to it, and it really is a resource pig. It's just it is a lot, and it can be. No, I'm not going to say it can be. Yeah, it can be a little streaky. How can you get a Boss? Sorry. Yellow Overdrive always goes well with a Marshall. I agree. TC Booster. Oh, yes. There's a really nice TC Booster in Amp Room as well. I want to point that out. That's why I would love to have that pedal section and be able to just toss them in there. You know what I mean? You hate modern amps? But do you like... there are a lot of modern amps that are just Marshall clones, though. You know that, right? That's... Just email him. Tonne, email me, and I'll email you his, just because he's not going to be able to put it on here. Johnny, you email me, and I'll put you in touch with Tonne. There's another amp that seems to be just held back a bit here. I'd like to see them do something about a little bit about that. That would be nice. I think. Fantastic. And I like using this for bass for one thing in particular. When I'm making a rock mix, I will usually if I'm doing a rock mix, this will be handling the distorted side of the bass. And I don't mean by much either. I do a parallel distortion thing where there's an Ampeg rig holding down the lower end, and then the top end is held down by a little bit of Ampeg and Murder One here, depending on what it is. Usually mostly for punk rock, if anything. Where I use this plugin most has actually been for guitar on Doom tracks. That's one of my favorite guitar amps to use on Doom tracks, and I'll use it typically with it's a weird cabinet setup. I'll use it with a blend of 412 Sun and a 215 Sun cabinets from Dr. Bonkers, known as the Sula, S-U-L-A 212 and 412s from Dr. Bonkers Sound Labs. Again, I almost did it again and again and again and again. There's just not enough control. I think having a second mic and then just a balance between those two mics, like a little slider. You could even just take these mics. If I'm showing like how I would do it, how I would make all the changes to this amplifiers plugin is I would just trim off a little bit of these panels right here, trim off a little bit of the amplifiers logo and squish it over a little bit, add a panel right here, another tab right here for the pedals. And then over here, I would get these mics right here and I would move them down so that they're closer to, oh, here we go. I would move these mics down to right about here, and then I would put a slider right here, left and right, to A and B rather, whichever mics you're using. That would be it. You're all done. I think that would be a very, that would make it lethal. Those changes would put amplifiers right in the conversation with a lot of other plugins, a lot of other suites, but not having the pedal availability up front, it might be a deal breaker for a lot of users, even though there is this handy little drive feature here that doesn't sound too bad. Let's listen to how it sounds. Don't like it with this amp, and I also don't like how fast it jumps up there. You can listen to that. It's also not a nice distortion and not a nice drive. I don't like it very much, so I'm probably not going to use that. Let's check the verb out real quick. It's a nice room verb. So yeah, that one's totally fine. Leave that right where it is. It's totally cool. Nice little room verb there. Never hurt anyone, especially when you're just rehearsing or just playing by yourself. No one likes dry guitar all the time. So what I would do is, those are all the changes I would make to this plugin. I'm going to send those all to Softube and see what they say, because we as a team have been after them for a couple years to do like we've been, hey, can you do a Vild Synth plugin? Do a Vild Synth plugin. Do a Vild Synth plugin. Hey, can you do a Vild Synth plugin? They did a Vild Synth plugin. So it's not on its own, but it's right here. And the second half, we're going to be hanging out with our boy here. This is a crusher of crushers. This thing dominates. And I'm super excited to be able to come back second half and hang out with you guys. How long have we been on? For now, we've been on for about an hour and 10 minutes. Cool. So I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to go get Gilbert over there. I'm going to check and see. Is Sam still alive here on the table? Sam is definitely still alive. He's still alive, folks. Don't worry. He's been sleeping there. He gets very sad when his mom goes away. My wife is in another part of the country visiting family for Christmas, and we don't travel together because we have animals and responsibilities and things that just, yeah. So when she goes away, this little guy here, he gets just super depressed. And if you have cats, and you're one of those people just like, I don't know, cat's a cat. I don't know. I don't really talk to it. I see it once in a while. I have people that like, yeah, I've got a cat. I see it like once a week. It's just like it's in their house somewhere and they just put out food for it. And that's as much love as it gets. That's not a cat. This little guy gets love nonstop, a little blind boy, and he's attached to my wife, literally will attach himself to her as she's walking around. So this little guy's missing her. So we'll give a little happy holidays for Samuel in there. Hybrid, interesting. I dig that. I haven't looked into the new ones. Hold on, new one what? Hold on. Holy cow. Got to go back. Thanks, Tyler, for helping us with communication. No problem. A 5150 wasn't made for modern metal. It was for the volume and... Oh, I saw that went away. Volume and mids and kind of a little higher gain. It wasn't made for metal, but Eddie Van Halen's tones have always been metal. Like in my opinion, Eddie Van Halen's one of the grandfathers, one of the gods and godfathers, we'll say, of high gain, because just what he brought. He wanted an amp that had lots of snot for him for leads when he wanted leads, and then those lead channels started getting used for higher gain music. It's just the way that a lot of those, it just started happening that way. And then a lot more amps started coming out to where people just were gravitating around those lead channels, just constantly using the lead channels. But then, in my opinion, though, the 5153, the butter of that plugin, or sorry, the butter of that amp is the blue channel in the middle. So, and I know at least one other person that thinks so, and his plugin is about to come out in a couple days. So if you know an artist out there that lives and dies by the EVH blue channel, I'm throwing out hints. We're going to be throwing out small hints as to who the artist could be. And I'm going to be throwing out little hints today. If you all are already in the know, please shut your mouth and don't say anything about anything as confidentiality will come to get you. We're not going to say anything direct. We're going to just allude to it for those 10 people. Wow, 10 people in the house today. Nice to see each and every one of you. My name is Tyler, and we are hanging out with the Softube amplifiers plugin. And in this first half here, we went after the rock tones, and I think we accomplished that pretty well. Let's go over real quickly with the amps that were used. I started off. This one right here has been redone super well. We didn't get to the Fender today, but I've heard the Fenders. Let me go over it real quick. Let's get down to it. Now, which one was redone, though? I want to say it was... Is it the black face or the silver face? I can't remember. Let's do the next Telly Tuesday. We'll focus on some of the clean tones. But today, first half, we went after rock tones, and they sounded great. That amp up there, the high watt, they have redone this high watt to sound truthfully super loud. Bring that back. It sounds terrific, guys. And you can get the gain a little bit more nasty and angry if you'd like to, and it sounds pretty damn awesome. But I'm going to take my 2 or 3 minute break here, come back with Gilbert, and we're going to crush some things, and we're going to see the metal side of amplifiers here, as well as going over the new BlazeWorks plugin that's got 2 different amps in it. Amp Room is not going to make an appearance today because I just don't want to use it today. We're going to stick with the amplifiers here, and hopefully you guys are having a great day. And I'm just happy to have you guys here. It's nice to have some people and have some people to yip yap with before I melt into the couch back there and just play Cyberpunk for. I was just literally wasn't going to stream today. I was, you know what, just not today. I'm going to sit here and game like a lump. I'm like, nah, get your ass on there and do some socializing. So this is my idea of socializing today. All right, folks, give me 2 or 3. Thanks for being here. What a scream. What a song. What a banger. That song's a banger. Covered by many. There's a lot of covers of that song. Why? Because it's kind of easy. And except for vocals. Vocals are not easy for that song at all. This is Gilbert, and we're going to hang out with Gilbert for a little bit. I'm tuned in B flat for the moment, but I'm probably going to be changing the strings on this sooner than later. It's going to take me a second because this one is just not been played anytime super recently. Anyways, I really do hope you guys are having a wonderful holiday season. Even if you're like me and you don't really do Christmas. I hope you're having a good holiday season, relaxing, maybe some time off from work. Or maybe it's just that your work schedule has chilled the fuck out a little bit as well. That could be also something you're looking at. Maybe your work has sped up. All right, let's see if I'm in tune here. Mop, mop. All right, we're going to go after the star of the show. The Wildsint here, and I'm going to go after the German Viper. It's a Canadian band called High Five Drive. Super fast punk rock band. All right, just make sure there's nothing else on in the chain. Wonderful. Sounds good. Okay, let's get over to the Wildsint here and get the tone kind of ripping with this guy. This is a super unique bird, this thing here. So I'm in a situation now where it's not that I don't like this particular cabinet. I do. I like it. And it lets you put the mic on a 45, which is nice. But it'd be nicer if I had two so I could use one straight on and, do the whole like Fredman thing. Okay. So as you'll notice here, there's calm, fierce, and rage, and there's also Wildsint is the word for fierce, I believe, in Swedish, if I'm not mistaken. And we're just gonna kind of go. We're on the clean and calm is really actually clean. Whoa. Not sure what happened there. It's a nice clean tone too, which you might not expect to be in there, being completely honest. All right, let's go up to it. This is when you get up to clean and you go clean, fierce and stuff like that, it starts becoming a little, I don't know, it's a little clanky. Almost sounds like I'm playing, when I'm in a low tune, it almost sounds like I'm playing modern bass right now. It's like modern bass tones be like. So I don't find it that useful until I get up to like right around here. The clean tone's good though. I'm finding it a little darker than usual though. I don't usually have a problem getting a searing amount of flesh out of this particular amp, and you can also get the gate sounding really trappy. It That's like really, really trappy there. No, a little bit more. It does need a boost, though. I've always felt that this, even though it is quite nice the way it is, it needs a bit of a boost to work sometimes. So we're going to go after the unified preamp, which is something I usually couple it with inside amp room anyways. Be nice to have that ability right now, but I can't. Again, I'm finding that I'm just wanting to reach for my own cabinet here. I don't mind this, but this particular cabinet, and it's not like, it is what it is. Let's see what else we've got. This is one of the originals. No, I don't like this particular. Damn it. I always want to go for it. I can turn the gate right off. Almost did it again and again and again and again and again. There we go. That's bright. Mom. Almost did it again and again and again and again. Let's float that over there. All right, now we're just gonna tune up this again. Sorry about that, folks. This guitar has just been sitting around too long, I guess. And as mentioned several times in the past, when I bring a guitar around the corner, it comes right into a very different climate. It goes from a humidifier to radiant, directly beside a radiant heat source, an old one, which is very warm. So guitars tend to act a little crazy during streams in the wintertime. Nothing I can do. What are you guys doing today? Are you with family? What are your plans for the holidays? Do tell. I am curious. It sounds good, but I think it could sound better. So if there's a particular cabinet in here that you'd like to see me go over, let me know. I'm happy to throw just about whatever in here. If there's anything that you see and you're like, yeah, there, let me know. There's, Okay, that's sounding a bit better. Let's turn this off for now, just for the moment. I just can't get it sounding exactly as I want. I didn't remember where I was. Try this. A little frustrated because usually I go after that Kerry King cabinet, and I can't remember which one that is. Go back to the Viper. That's fine. It really is. Yeah, it sounds good. I like it. Let's go with it. Let's go with it. All right, now let's change some of the channels around. Now we're on the Fierce dead center, Fierce high gain channel. This is not boosted. This is not boosted at all, by the way. Wow. Here's the one bad thing about Vildsynth, though. As much as I like it on its own, I've tried using it in a mix, and it just did not perform the way that I had kind of hoped it would. I had hoped it was going to be this in-mix banger. At first time I heard it, I literally almost shit my fucking pants. I couldn't believe how crazy this sounded, how insane, how much gain there was. Speaking of gain, let's go to calm, insane gain. It's sounding pretty good so far here. Sounding good, sounding good. If we want to go over then, we go over another one. This is Fierce Insane Gain. All right, we're getting there. I know that a lot of people really like this extra twangy, extra high gain. This is insane and fierce. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, Rudy. It's an acquired taste. Still does pretty, it's like, you know, like some people really like this. I'm not the biggest fan of those super clanky mids. That's me though. The thing is though, this is to me though, if you're quad tracking, for example, and you're quad track, you cannot quad track with this much gain at all. I think this fierce sound here, if you really try to control the top end, it's so much sizzle there. Do I have nothing on here? There's still nothing on. So it gives you an idea of just how much bowls are in this amp. My personal opinion, I like that the fierce and high gain, and I also like the rage high gain, but anything beyond those, I don't know. Anyways, we're going to get to the Blaze plugin. And for that, I'm actually going to get rid of this. And we're just going to go to the Blaze plugin on its own, not amplifiers, just so I can give you guys an accurate look at what this plugin actually looks like here. And we're going to all hope it doesn't crash us. All right, just give you guys a real quick look. This is Amp Room. Okay. This is Amp Room here. Then you have a choice in the suites. You have Marshall Suite, you have Engel Savage Suite, you have Metal Suite, Vintage Suite, Bass Suite. You can buy all of those. And you also, so you go and buy Marshall Suite, for example, and look at the first page. You get the Blues Breaker, JMP 2203, Marshall Plexi Super Lead, the Jubilee, and the Marshall JCM 800 Lead Series. For pedals, this is one thing that I would love to see. There are a lot of good, really nice pedals in here. This is a nice pedal. And my favorite boost pedal in here is actually this guy right here. Love this one, this Sleipner Boost. This thing is awesome. Get that out. And then they have, as mentioned, they have a Marshall Governor, a licensed Marshall Governor. Oh, come on. It's going to crash me. It's going to crash me. Fuck. You're going to crash me, aren't you, you son of a bitch? We're going to go to all face for a second because I know it's going to crash. This is the problem with using Amp Room in a stream, is that it is sluggish. And it's going to crash all of my shit, right? It's going to crash Reaper for sure right now. So we're just going to take one quick second here, folks. Talk to, let's see it. We'll see if it can, and yeah, we'll see if it can right itself. I'm not sure how much. All right, guys, my voice is going to go out for a second. Just bear with me, please. We should be back here. Are we back? So that just crashed me a number of times. So I'm gonna just ignore that plugin, and I can't. We got to make sure I don't room in the chain, because it's just, again, the UI is so demanding. And I have things. I'd like to point out that I have things set right now as to be as low and like it's focusing on latency right now. So it's going to happen from time to time where things just crash, and there are only a few different plugins that actually do still crash my shit. Ooh, I almost crashed us again there, folks. All right, so the last little bit of the stream here is going to be this guy right here. This is the Blazeworks Overvolt, and Also, the Blazeworks Arc Line 4. These are going to accompany us the rest of the way in the stream here, and we're going to maybe add some pedals to it. We're going to check these out. Then we're going to get out of here, and everyone's going to be able to go and do their holiday business. All right, let's see what we got here. So, in this one, I also think that for even though it's 30 bucks, you get kind of a lot for 30 bucks. But I think they could give you a little bit more, and with that, and like Blazeworks over here could easily get crunched over. You could add a couple of pedals and really give people like all, as far as I know, you also don't have to have, do you have to have amp room for this? I don't believe so. I think this is, you can discover this on its own. But again, having two mics would be nice, and the little fader up here, that would all be, oops, forgot. Sorry guys. Yeah. We're back. You can see it now. Sorry. Here we go. Now Zan didn't really like this. Zan was on the fence here. He's just like, I don't know, man. He couldn't really get as good of tones as he would have liked out of it. So let's see if we can't get some at least halfway passable tones here. It's not terrible by any means. I mean, it's okay for me. We're not boosted right now. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not in love right now. It's all right. It really does. The thing is, we got to give it a chance. We got to make sure we throw a boost out front and make sure this, it can do its thing. Let's try this boost. That's not bad. Not bad. It's okay. They give you a nice assortment of mics. Everything's here that you need. But this cabinet, for whatever reason, the German Viper doesn't sound as good here as it did in the amplifiers plugin. I don't know why, but yeah. I'd laugh if there was a way to add a mic and I'm just not seeing it. But I don't believe that it's there. Although I do think you could get a much better sounds out of amplifiers and the Blazeworks plugins by just having that second mic available. If I would like to gift everyone here some custom IR blends I created, could I share the link to Drive in the chat? No, it would nuke you really fast for that. It would it wouldn't nuke you. It would nuke your link for sure. How would you do that? I'm not sure actually. If you were to put them like, if I'm my personal opinion, if anything you have, if anything you've created, well, even if it's just IRs, and I say just IRs, but because this site is kind of full of all kinds of stuff, but put it on Tone 3000. And that way you can just say, hey, I'm Open World Audio on Tone 3000. Come check me out. And that way we're not passing around links and everything else. That's always what I'd tell anybody that creates anything. The worst case scenario, you put it there and nobody really downloads it. Who cares? You know what I mean? Who cares? I would just go put it there regardless. I think we can do better here. I need to put another piece of foam underneath that pickup. All right. I'm going to turn that off. We have to remember not to hit the amp room tab. Let's check this out. Okay. So we're going to go the rest of the way with my impulse response. We're going to back this up. Holy shit. I think we just woke up the beast here, folks. Wowzers. Okay, then. We're popping, if you guys aren't throwing it down, I'm popping out little hints and little fun hints as to the next massive release that's coming up in just a couple more days. Couple more days until one of the biggest releases, if not, in my opinion, the biggest release of my career, having been involved with many different plugins over the years, on various levels. This one means the most to me that anything ever has in this industry. And I cannot wait to share it with you. But we're giving you little hints as to the artist that may be featured in this plugin. And you're just going to have to pick up on them when they come around in the stream. I cannot confirm or deny. I'm just going to throw little things out there as like soon, because Wavemind, I don't believe is going to do the sooner. Oh my God, soon. It's going to be soon. Oh my God, it's soon, everybody. Sooner. Oh, sooner. Tomorrow. Now, it's not enough of that. That's pretty filthy. I can get with that. I just want to put a tube screamer on it because that's like, this pedal's giving it a really something that doesn't necessarily 100% need to be there. Let's use an old ass. Actually, no, let's just use our Greed Smasher. There's something there. I can see what Zan's saying now. That's not bad. Okay, that's second channel, not boost. That is pretty good. Come on, we gotta. I like to move it. I had a light Crimbus tree. Keep in mind, Lucius. Sorry, I'm baked. Yeah, me too, brother. Not enough, though. I think maybe we'll do a second break today. Am I the only one hearing the squishy shit going on with this amp? It's what's a PV Triple X? This? What do you mean? What do you mean by squishy exactly? Well, it's supposed to be a modified Marshall. I hear what you're hearing. You mean like are you hearing like what you're saying is you're hearing like it's being almost like a pre-compression going in? Or are you talking about the Marshall squishiness? Because like squishiness, when people say squishy and Marshall in the same sentence, it usually refers to a characteristic of the Marshall sound. When like the plexi sound, when everything's up and boosted and everything, it sounds what I've heard it described as squishy. But then people will also say when you compress the shit out of something, people will say it's squashed or it's squishy. So I'm not really sure. You love between the bear. Wait, what? I'm curious what you're referring to with the Triple X as well. I usually like a good squish, but this one's like a hella. Yeah, no, I hear it. It's the same thing with Vildsynth. There's something in it. There are artifacts somewhere in there that I'm not fully like taken back by. I think I don't know what it is. Who mentioned Between the Buried and Me? Where did that come from? The Triple X is just a convo, Eddie. Ah, okay. You want to buy it. Okay. Eddie knows a shitload about PV amps. He's also our resident PV amp expert. I would actually love to do a PV based suite where they just bring like you do like the VTM, the Butcher, and a whole bunch of fucking sick amps. I would love to find somebody with a really, really sick PV collection and then send somebody with like a top quality capture rig their way. Yeah, the chat's on fire today, folks. Yeah, we've actually, I rattled off an email to PV. I rattled off an email to PV and said, hey, like, you should do another plugin, but this time do it not shitty and don't sit on the same garbage framework forever. PV Revalver was one. It was good when it very first came out. It was legit. Like that one, I remember trying it when it first came out, and it was really solid. When it for the time, it was really, really fun. And I remember gassing for it so fucking hard when I first saw the very first email I got about it. And I remember emailing everybody I knew being like, yo, look at this. Ah! And everyone I knew was just like, whoa. no! Like, everybody flipped the fuck out. The problem was, after a while, they didn't do anything to upgrade or update. They just kept on trying to sell it and pump it out. And I remember, and I'm just going to say this because it was a good time. I remember being tapped by the people who purchased Revolver, contacted me through my website because of one of my reviews, and asked me to jump in and maybe asked how I would feel about trying to revamp that platform. And I was like, oh my God, are you serious? You're asking me for help with this? Like, holy shit. Yes, I'll absolutely. And I took so much time I took going through that platform with a fine-tooth comb. And I gave them like this massive market thing of what I would do to change it, how things could be changed, what could remain, how things would need to get done. And they took everything I said, did not pay me a dime, because even though they had offered to pay me for the research and the help, I didn't get paid a dime. I got told that I could have a bunch of free codes to give my friends, and that they were essentially going to do none of the things, not even one of the things I suggested. And instead they were going to bring in this weird profiling software, which I guess could have been maybe sort of ahead of its time in a way. Threw this profiling piece of shit brick in there and called it a day. And then it sold to like Head Rush, and I don't know what happened to it from there. I think it's still involved with Head Rush somehow. Revolver still lives out there somewhere. I don't know. Anyways, that platform had lots of really good ideas at the start, and then it just goes to show that in this industry, if you don't stay on top of your plugins, if you don't have your thumb or your finger firmly on the pulse of what's going on with your competition, and you're not consistently listening, not just looking at, but listening and trying your competitors' products, you have to do that. They didn't do that. Also, I got the feeling that nobody at the company at the time knew anything about plugins or even cared about plugins at all. So it's just one of those things that you wish could have been done. I wish that PV had kept that up and kept on doing plugins, so that maybe we would have the VTM and the Butcher and all these other amps that they could be easily rolling out, but they're not. And that kind of sucks. Yeah, it is ass shit. But they never updated it. It is an old ass plugin. It's completely, it's busted. I loved the concept. You know what? We're talking about older plugins because this particular developer has been around for a long time. And if you don't remember, I'd like to take you back to the days of old. Softube Metal Amp Room. I'm going to show you one of the worst looking plugins in the history of plugins. Here it is, folks. Get a good look at this bad motherfucker. Where's the picture? Oh, get a look at this. This is the UI. This is the UI. This is literally the UI of the plugin. That's how it's an above shot of essentially what looks to be the room that the Blair Witch kills people in. It's a concrete room. It doesn't even look like a cool studio room. It's a concrete room with a concrete floor and a drain. And it didn't sound that good or that bad, but this was what they were working with before. So cheers to Softube for coming a long way since the old days here. There was a couple different cabinets. I think there were a couple different amps in here. There's like an Angle or something. I don't know exactly what was in here, but I think it was an Angle Powerball. I can't remember. Anyways, just going to show you guys like what we were looking at in the days of old. It's literally like there's no. You've got a mic. You've got and these little things that I look at. You've got a cable going to the back of the cabinet, but no cable going to the microphones. It's just a weird vibe. I remember opening this plugin and being like, what? 70% of the pickup of the plug-in UI is just a weird concrete room. That's weird, man. If I was working on that plug-in with somebody and that was what they brought me for a UI, that's the hill I would die on. That's the hill I would die on right there. I'd be like, there's no fucking way that we're putting this out looking like this, is it? No, and they'd be like, yeah, that's the fun. No, it's not. I would die on that hill. I would die on that hill. And now it looks pretty damn good. They've given, like, this is what the metal amp room looks like now. It's pretty sweet, actually. The new graphics. Although I will say that the old Powerball doesn't really hang. And the rectifier doesn't sound super rectifier-ish. But I don't think their strong suit has ever really been high gain there. Although this does sound pretty decent. Let's take one last listen to this tone before I switch over to the 5150-ish amp. All right, let's turn that off. Let's go back over and let's go through the other amp, which is the Overvolt. Don't know much about this guy here. Looks like a pretty simplistic amp. It says it's supposed to have 5150 vibes, so let's just go with my 5150 settings. I hear what you're hearing, though. I hear what you're hearing, Zan. And it's not that I hate it. It's just that I know that there are a number of amps. A number of amp sims that are where they're treading in the same tonal waters as this guy right here. Where it's like, as you can imagine, like my high gain amp sim collection is something where if it was actually like a room full of amps, you'd open the door and it'd be like, by the power of Grayskull. It's absurd. It's absurd the amount of amazing high gain amps I have, ranging from free to top of the price bracket. And these guys are swimming into those waters, even though they're only worth $30, which is a great price for any amp sim these days. Even though they're only $30, these are just two swimmers, regular ass. This is like, it reminds me of like these two here. These two amps remind me of that nice old couple that's going for a swim in Florida, not knowing that they're headed towards a whole bunch of alligators. And it'd just be like, nom, 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 nom. Nom, 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 roll, roll, rah. Legs are flying everywhere. That's what's going to happen when these two amp sims are wading into the waters with some of the other massive high gain plugins that I have. So I don't know how much use I'll get or not, but nonetheless, these are not the worst amp sims out there. But I hear what you're hearing. It's almost like there's a boost built in. And it's almost like there's a TCE booster built in, but the settings aren't quite, there's a little too much sizzle. It's hard to put my finger on. That's not bad right there. That is a pretty solid tone. That's not bad. But when you start to get into multiple notes, it starts to get a little bit jumbled together there. And that's what I think Zan is trying to say, is there's notes being squashed and squished into sort of like, and you know what I mean? There's some notes being squished and squashed as soon as you start getting up into that. And that's definitely not the case with like a block letter. But if you turn down the presence, it can it's almost like you're putting the blanket goes over it quickly there. I see $30 is still pretty good for that, but unfortunately it doesn't work for, yeah, and it's doesn't really work for what I do either. But where I see this being rad is a gateway product. This is totally a nice gateway product for someone to find. It's super easy to use, super easy to get like some decent tones, get it going with stuff, you know, maybe throw it in, fire it into a mix and start something up. And it's really easy. So if you're out there and you know beginners, I would put this on like a really solid beginner list of products that you could recommend to people that are just starting out, that need things to be quite simplistic. And I do feel though, whether it's the BlazeWorks or whether it's the amplifiers plugin, I do really feel they would both benefit from a 3-panel. In this particular plugin, what I think it would also benefit is having a selection of maybe 3 cabinets, throw the main stayer in there, throw one other cab in there, and also throw maybe 1 pedal, you know, maybe one or 2 pedals. You could make it $35, you know what I mean? And that second mic would be really handy for most people. And I don't think it would be that hard for their people to pull off. I know that they employ some terrific, very high level programmers, coders, etc. So yeah, that's going to be me for today, folks. And my vote on this one is going to be like a 6.5 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10. For amplifiers, I think it's terrific. And in the first half today, we got some banging tones. I just don't know if high gain is really Softube's full thing, and which is very interesting because one of their head guys over there is Jensen from The Haunted. Not head guys, but I believe he's involved in their product design and stuff on that level. And I just don't think these ones aren't really going to do it for me. The Vildsint does it for me though. It does. It absolutely does it for me. And I just think high gain wise, it's in the middle, but when you start thinking about clean tones, rock tones, bass tones, and of course their huge selection of everything else. Remember, this is not just an amp sim company. This is a company that puts out a ton of software. So much to the fact where it was actually kind of tough for me to find the BlazeWorks stuff when it first came out. I had no idea. So yeah, please do check out everything Softube has to offer. Thanks so much to Stefan over at Softube. That's man, it's very, very appreciated that he's always been a supporter and of the channel and my previous endeavors. So thanks so much, Softube. Always just rad people and always very nice, very, very nice people. So thank you so much to them for always sending some stuff over for us to kind of mess around with. That amp room though, folks, amp room that's a toughie. That's a toughie. Amp room is you really need a faster machine to work it. But we're gonna try to do a stream where we're gonna use amp room. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I think we're gonna try to do a stream where it involves amp room, because there's a lot of fun chains you can build in there, lots of fun effects, lots of really well put together stuff. I'm not gonna be back tomorrow. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say probably not, although who knows? Yeah, I do have the day to do relatively not much. If I do come in tomorrow, we're going to be working on Overloud THU. I'm pretty excited. They just put some new stuff in there. And we're going to be doing some stuff with that. Also, hopefully next week, going to be doing a tone. This will be fun for those of you that want to jump in. We're going to be doing a tone hunt, tone chase for Alexi Alejo. We're going to be just looking at how to get those bottom tones in the form of plugins, and hopefully by then, well, I'm going to wait until this happens anyways, but by then I'll also have the EMG Alexi Alejo preamp and pickup. I'm excited about that, so that should be fun as well. Have a wonderful and safe, no drink and drive. Don't do anything and drive. Be safe out there, folks. and have a wonderful holiday season with you and yours. And maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Very likely not. Boxing Day, again, probably not Boxing Day. Tomorrow, very unlikely. But later this week, I will be back with you. And all next week, I'll be doing lots of streams next week. Maybe even a doubler, where we have one day where there might even be two. Could be fun. Bo, nice to see you. Oh, okay, sorry. I wanted to see. Hold on, let me read through the chat here before I get out of here. There's a whole bunch of comments I missed. Really sorry, guys. And Eddie knows his speakers as well. Eddie, we were looking through. I'm going to see if I can get you, Eddie, a license for Celestion Speaker Shaper, so you can check that thing out, because I know you'd really like to go through that. I think it's a fun plugin. Yeah, man, you guys are the chat is just on fire today. Thank you so much, everybody. Love y'all, and this community means a lot to me. It's nice to be able to have you guys around. So, and it's just wonderful to be able to bounce stuff off you guys and everything else. Huge release coming, guys. Huge release in the next couple of days. It's a premium release, so if you got a few bucks during the holidays, it might be a pricier one, but this is going to be just such a great week. I cannot wait for this plugin to come out. It's gonna make my holidays. It's gonna be my Merry Christmas. So until then, cheers, everybody. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you guys next time.
We will party hard.